Welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love.
Yeah.
We try to bring you useful information, and this is something that, we think if you are visiting the Hamptons is very useful. We're going to provide the ferry schedule to you. And this first ferry goes from Sag Harbor to Orient Point. And
I know Sag Harbor to Shelter Island.
Sag Harbor to Shelter Island. It's 3 ferries. So the first one is Sag Harbor to Shelter Island. Very important information. They only accept cash. And it is $17.50 as of May 2021.
So we're still sitting in the Jeep. You just drive your Jeep on. It's really just like a floating bridge.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a 5-minute ride or whatever. I don't know if we'll film the whole thing, but you can see where we're headed over there. We're just gonna dock this thing right over there. So we go across this channel to Shelter Island. I think it's, call it a 10-15 minute drive across Shelter Island. Then we get on the North Ferry, which takes us over to Orient Point, which Karen already mentioned. And then Orient Point is where we take the ferry to New London. That's a 1-hour ferry where we you get out of the car and hang out a little bit.
Exactly. And as we hit each ferry, we will give you the information as far as if you can book it online, if you should book it online, availability, etc. So this particular ferry, we have never booked this one online. We've always just driven on. The beautiful thing is this goes every 15 minutes. So if you miss the first one, chances are you'll hop on the next one. We've never had a wait. We've always been able to drive right on. And again, $17.50 one way. There is a round trip fare that I believe is somewhat discounted if you do round trip, but we're just doing the one way because we're not coming back today. But commuters obviously use this for the round trip.
Yeah, so I wanted to there's quite a current here. I don't know if you guys could tell. So we're kind of pushing to the left. Even though we're heading over to the right, but the ferry is actually driving to the left a bit to fight the current, and we'll snug right in there right next to that other ferry that's about ready to take off from the other side. So these are just like floating bridges. You drive your car on and it just takes you across. It's a quick little ride and you get over to Shelter Island. We go across Shelter Island, hit the North Ferry, which is about the same size. We'll do a little shot of that one, and then off to the big ferry when we get over to Orient Point. We'll just watch this come in a little bit. It's kind of cool.
It is beautiful. Did you see that Comran fly by?
Oh no.
It may have been in your
hopefully it was in the video.
View.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was too low or not, but it's just so beautiful here. And this is a beautiful, crisp, clear day. Well, actually, it's June.
Yeah,
Happy
it is.
June.
Yeah, it is
I
June.
thought it was still May. We've been out here for quite some time.
All right, coming in for a landing here. I'm gonna drop this video so I can drive off and across Shelter Island. See you in a bit. Now we're at the North Ferry passenger terminal. Basically, this will take us across from Shelter Island over to Orient Point. Okay, leaving Shelter Island on the North Ferry. Doing some work here, so only one of the ferry docks is open, so there's the other guy coming in. Basically coming across from the other side.
And again, this ferry is cash only, and this ferry is $14.
Yep.
So the first ferry that we took, which was the South Ferry, was $17 cash only, and then this ferry is the North Ferry, which is $14, again cash only. So it's just really important to remember to bring your cash with you.
And this is my favorite pole position because I'm sitting in my Jeep. I feel like I'm in an amphibious vehicle, like I'm in a James Bond vehicle. Like we just drove on and we're just going across the water. So it's kind of like I got my own little pilot's nest here as we're going across the sound. This isn't really a sound. This is just a little channel. We will be going across the Long Island Sound next when we take off from Orient Point. So that's the North Fork over there. So it's kind of important to note this shelter island is between the two forks. So out here on Long Island, you have North Fork and South Fork. South Fork is down where the Hamptons are. North Fork, there's a lot of vineyards out there and farmlands. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, we love going out there. And this is the North Fork that we're landing in now. We'll go from there up to the tip, and we'll catch the big boat and go across to Connecticut.
What a perfect day, too, to be on the ferries.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. We've had some really wild weather. This was Memorial Day weekend, and normally the Hamptons are insanely busy and crazy. People everywhere. But the weather, I don't want to say it didn't cooperate, because we absolutely loved it. We had torrential storms that were just magnificent. And for us, you know, Jeffrey and I, and actually we were visiting our daughter, we all, and her fiance, we all loved the rain here. We loved storms. So it really was an opportunity to kind of have the Hamptons to ourselves, because a lot of people decided not to come out here during this time, because, you know, it's a beach community, and you're going to come out here for the great beaches, which we did get to a couple of times, you know. Anyway, Jeffrey and I spent yesterday on the beach, and it was so incredibly gorgeous. The waves.
It was great. We had it all to ourselves.
We had it all to ourselves. There was literally no one on the beach yesterday except for Jeffrey and I and Sugar Bean. That's it. And just so that you know, if you are coming here, the beaches are not dog friendly during the day. I think they are before 8 o'clock. But between the months of May and September, they are not dog friendly.
All right, well, I'm going to sign off now, because I think you get the gist of this. So we're going to be landing right over there. So that's, again,
and you just
North
wanted
Fork.
to mention, Jeffrey, the reason that you would take these ferries is simply to avoid the going through New York City and avoiding that potential traffic. So that's something to think about. It's so much fun to take the ferries, but you know, we do want to let people know that, you know, the total cost by the time you're done is just over $100 one way to take the ferries.
Yeah.
So it is, you know, you have to look at it as that money going towards an experience, as well as alleviating having to go through New York City, because at the end you'll end up in New London, Connecticut.
Yep.
And you bypass all that New York traffic, which can be very congested depending on the time that you're traveling, as well as the day.
Yeah, exactly. And depending on where you're going, as we said, when if we're going back to Colorado, we might be more efficient to shoot down through New York. I hate to say it, but because I do love this ferry ride. It saves you, when we're going north like we are heading to Boston, I think it saves an hour, even with the boats. The next boat is an hour long.
Right.
But these are obviously short.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap this, and we'll see you guys on the next ferry.
Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the North Ferry.
Yeah. We're here at the Cross Sound Ferry. Okay, we're here then at the next leg of the journey. Just waiting our turn to get on. This is obviously a much larger boat. It's a 1 hour ferry ride over to Connecticut from Orient Point here on Long Island. Okay, leaving Long Island. This ferry ride is about an hour. Nice and relaxing. We land over in New London, Connecticut. to Boston from here.